Richardson.
Dylan Schumacher.
Citadel Defense. We're here today to talk to you about training versus plinking.
Yeah. So I think one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about was to not confuse the difference between plinking and training, right? Now, a lot of us out there, we just like guns, right? There's something inherently fun about going to the range and shooting a gun, especially for someone who's new or hasn't done it before. And so if you want to set up a little NRA B8 target or some pop cans or whatever and just try to shoot one-handed or shoot real slow or try to get that perfect little group at such and such a distance, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you're into, if that's what you like doing, if you're a competition shooter, whatever. Totally fine. But do not confuse that with training, right? With using a gun or preparing to use a gun to save your life. And what that is you're going to pull your gun out and you're going to kill someone or shoot them until they stop trying to kill you. Those are the two outcomes. Those are the only two outcomes in that scenario. And so practicing to shoot a nice little group under no stress in an air-conditioned room and you have, 15 seconds between each trigger pull is not practicing to pull your gun out and deal with that threat right now. This is not the same thing. So a lot of you guys probably know that. But I think, hey, I just want to remind everybody, go get professional training from someone who knows what they're doing. Go do that. And then when you get back, that's when the real training to me starts. Because you go to a training class to learn. You go to learn all the techniques and things, how you should do it and how you should think about it and mindset. And then when you get back, that's when you start to apply that. So that you unload your gun when you get home and you do dry practice for 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 60 minutes or as much time as you got, or 5-minute little increments here between putting your kids to sleep and making your wife dinner, whatever you do. And then you go to the range and you practice those techniques and you just through repetition, you do that over and over and over again to ingrain that so that when the stress hits, you have something to fall back on, right? And you're not just practicing, oh, well, I've shot once every 15 seconds, I'm good to go. All right? Do anything
absolutely.
to that?
I mean, you guys, you're building habits that you want to be effective in stressful situations, right? You want it to be a habit, an instinct, something you've practiced over and over and over, so that when the situation happens where you need to use it, you don't even have to think.
Yeah.
Really. It's just automatic.
That's right.
And the only way you're going to get there is by repetition, thinking things through, practicing over and over and over, putting yourself in new situations, challenging situations, knowing your skill levels and pushing them. And I would say having people that you surround yourself with who monitor your gun habits and correct you and tell you where you need to improve. Now, maybe that's something that you don't have. But at least for us, we surround ourselves with each other and friends of ours who shoot well and watch our shooting very carefully and constantly tell us where we're failing, where we could be doing better.
That's right, because the goal is to get better, right? It's to keep getting better so that if, God forbid, that moment ever comes, you're able to do something about it. Because, I heard this recently, but you're not going to rise to the occasion. You're going to fall to the lowest level of training you have. And so I think that's why you want to continue to train and train and train, so that on your worst day, when you have the flu and you're sick and you're with your kid who's being whiny and you're about to get robbed, you have the skills to be able to do something. It's not going to happen on your best day. That's not how life works. And if that moment comes, that you practice getting that gun out in under 2 seconds or a second and a half or whatever arbitrary time you want to put on it.
In real life scenarios.
Yeah, real life time.
Right.
When, as Travis Haley says, when time is life, you can get that gun out and you can go to work. And that's what we want. Again, if you like plinking, do that. But it's not training to save your life.
It's a hobby.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Which is fine.
Right.
Again, if that's what you're into. But
right. We try to put our students in the most stressful situations we can so that they know how they operate under pressure, so they can learn skills that apply to the real world.
Yep.
And finally, I'd just say, we've seen a lot of people who plink and think they know what they're doing when it comes to guns, but we put them through one drill and they can't do it. You know? Or they don't really know how to get their gun out of the holster.
No.
So,
or they don't know how to clear a malfunction. Or I had one gentleman, and his 1911 malfunctioned. Shocker, right? And he gave it to me because he couldn't clear it. So I cleared it for him, which is okay. He was learning. I put the safety on and I handed it back to him and I said, the safety's on. He presses the gun out, tries to pull the trigger. I said, the safety's on. He tries to press the trigger again. I said, the safety's on. He pulls the gun in and looks at it like he doesn't know what to do with it. And he hadn't shot a gun in a year and whatever. But again, it's not training that's plinking, right? He obviously wasn't familiar with that weapon system, and I'm not slamming him. He was new and he just hadn't shot in a long time. He just didn't know. But that's why we train, because you don't ever want to be in that position where you don't know what your gun's doing. If there's a malfunction, you clear that sucker and you go.
And it doesn't matter if currently you can get your gun out of the holster on target and get a shot off in 1 second now, or if it takes you 5 seconds. Start where you're at and improve. And take baby steps. You're not going to get there overnight. It's repetition, 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 over and over and over.
So, hey, we'd love to come train with you wherever you're at. We'll travel almost anywhere in the United States. Come see us in Minnesota, or go find someone else who knows what they're doing and learn how to shoot your gun and train hard.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.